Oh yes, hello everyone, and yes, welcome to the Janome Sewing and Learning Center in Oakville, Ontario. My name is Michael Smith, the National Consumer Education Manager of Janome Canada. So thank you for joining me at another edition of A to Z with Janome. And today's Janome HQ Instagram Live is brought to you by the letter S. And the S is for the SE foot, which is our edge guide foot. And this is one of my favorite feet. It has been around forever, it seems, but I really love it. It is so versatile. So here's my cute little sample with Tamara Kate's fabric, and the SE edge guide foot then allowed me to quickly stitch on this applique, nice and even row of stitching. And then here I did multiple lines of quilting. So you can move the adjustable guide, which I'll show you on the foot. So you've got perfectly straight stitching at whatever measurement, whatever dimension you want. So that's really good there. It's a very cute foot. It is available for the 9mm and the 7mm machines. And again, comes in a blister pack like that. And as always, there's full instructions on the back of the blister pack. Now, the 5mm machines have a similar foot. It's an adjustable blind hem foot, but it looks similar to this edge guide foot. So if you have a 5mm machine, you can get from your dealer the adjustable blind hem foot. And again, it works very similarly to this edge guide foot. So yes, Tiny Alice sewed some Rainbow Pride face masks with paw prints for my hairstyle. Oh, that's wonderful. That is so sweet. You know, I love how everyone has been sewing for all their friends and families and, you know, people in their life who are important to them. You know, that's so wonderful that we're all making the effort to keep everybody safe. So yeah, so here is my SE edge guide foot, and then if I turn this little screw, it's such a simple foot, but so effective. I turn that little screw there, and then I have got this big adjustable guide that I can move closer to the needle or further away, so whatever measurement I would like. There's all these little notches on the foot that are 1mm apart. So I can just line up the guide of my foot to whatever line here I want. Now, the big advantage is great if you have a machine like the Memorycraft 15,000 quilt maker here. I've got 91 needle positions. So it's wonderful that I can adjust the needle in increments if need be. But let's say your machine doesn't have as many needle positions, or maybe you have more restrictions that you can't move your needle. So this is why I love this foot, because I can move the guide closer to my needle. I don't have to rely on my needle moving, for example. So it is a snap-on foot like most of our other Janome feet, so that's really quick and easy. And even if I adjust this guide all the way to the right, I have found that that is a wonderful, I'm just on a regular center needle position, which on my Memorycraft 15,000 quilt maker is set at 4.5. And instead of selecting, I've got, so many selections, I could select a 1/4 inch stitch, but instead I just moved my guide a quarter, or basically it works out to be a 1/4 inch. I don't know if you'll be able to see, maybe I'll hold it up instead. That, again, there is if here is the start of my marker, and then over here, so that's about a 1/4 inch. So this is like a perfect, like scant quarter. So I can use this foot to do my 1/4 inch piecing. That works out great. Or I can move, and I should say, that you can use this foot so many different ways. So I want to move my foot now closer to my needle to do like this row of edge stitching, for example. So I can move it further away to do a row of top stitching, and then I can move it closer to my seam line to do my row of edge stitching. So it's, again, very versatile. And that I will use on this sample here. So I've already done my one row of stitching, and then again I can adjust this guide however close to the edge of my fabric I want. And again, my needle, I haven't moved my needle at all. Instead, I'm moving the guide, and I'm actually going to back it off a little bit more so I can get a little closer to the edge of my fabric. So it really depends on where you want to move it. Actually, no, I'm going to go this way. Whoops. It's weird sewing in reverse. Okay, there we go. So yes, now I have adjusted it so it's moving a little closer to where I want. Whoops. There we go. Perfect. So again, how simple is, whoops, I'm trying not to block my hand in the camera. So I need to keep my fabric to the edge of that guide, and then it will come out perfectly straight. So we're going to ignore that part where my fabric wasn't quite against the guide. But again, it turns out beautifully straight. Very simple and easy to do. Great if you want to attach some trims or ribbons. Again, you line up the guide however close you want to the edge of your fabric, moving it a little closer to the needle. And then so long as you keep your trim next to that guide, then that keeps it perfectly even. Now, again, I'm sort of at a weird angle. But there, so that, oh, that's perfect. That blends in beautifully. Now, I'm using the fabulous Katana Thread from Madeira. I have had this down at the office the whole time. This is why I'm glad to be back here, because I had left this here previously. This is beautiful multicolored thread, as you can see, as they all blend in there together. So really beautiful cotton quilting thread, 100% cotton quilting thread from Madeira. So again, you can check with your dealer about this fabulous Madeira thread. Janome Canada is a distributor of Madeira thread. So you can double check with your Janome dealer. And again, now I can go down the other side, and again, so long as I keep my fabric next to that guide, I know that my line of stitching is going to be perfectly parallel. So super quick and easy. Or again, as I did on my little sample, if I want to use this edge guide foot for quilting, so I decide, oh, I want to just move over. Oh, I could put on my auto pivot. Now is a great time to use that function. And let's say, okay, I'm going to now use, there's the little guide on the toe of the foot. I'm going to use that as my guide. So I'm going to run my line of stitching down just at that notch of the foot. And try not to keep my hand in the way. So then I do that, so it's nice and even. And then if I want to come around the other way, then I can again move my guide, depending on how far apart you want your rows of stitches. So you could use this foot to quilt as well. Now, I wouldn't necessarily use this for a whole big giant quilt, but if I had like a little mug rug, let's say, is what this little sample could be, or just a quilted detail on a pocket, for example, you know, something like that, that I thought this was a great foot, again, because it's so versatile. You just move that guide over wherever you want, and now my previous line of stitching is going to go right along that guide to keep my rows of quilting parallel. And you can see how close they were. I mean, that's basically like one stitch apart from each other, but that turned out so beautiful. So there's really a lot you can do with this foot. It's quite fun just to experiment just by moving that guide over however far apart you want your previous line of stitching. So again, then when I crank it all the way back, again, that's about a scant quarter of an inch away. So that would be perfect, ideal for your piecing as well. In fact, when I did my sample here, I had put on my applique, and then again I did all my rows of quilting, and then as I affixed this piece of fabric onto my other piece, I didn't need to change my foot at all. I used that edge guide foot, and again that was a nice little scant quarter of an inch, so that was perfect to piece this on as well. So there's a lot of versatility on what you can do with your cute little SE edge guide foot. Again, available at a separate blister pack for the 9mm and 7mm machines. And again, if you have a 5mm machine, you can get the adjustable blind hem foot that works very similarly to this as well. So then again, you can get this option for basically all of the machines. So yeah, oh, Grandma Crod, great to see you again. Oh, thank you so much. So yes, any questions, any concerns? No, we're good. Again, this was a nice quick little one to let you all enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. And again, I'll be coming to you live from the Janome Sewing and Learning Center on Wednesday and Friday as well of this week. Tanya will be here to film me as well, so that'll be nice. Let's see, coming up tomorrow on Janome Canada, I believe at 1 p.m. Eastern, I believe it's Celine again, sharing lots of tips and tricks. Liz sends out a email notification every Monday morning on Janome Life. So if you want to get the heads up on what's happening at Janome Canada Instagram Live, which is every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m., and then Janome HQ Instagram Live is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m., you can find that schedule every Monday morning again at Janome Life. So if you haven't followed Janome Life yet, you can go to the Janome Life blog, type in janomelife.wordpress.com in your browser, and then there's a follow button. So then you'll get that email notification about the schedule for the coming week as well. Also on Janome Life, there's more about the edge guide foot. So that's another great resource. Ooh, and then somewhere in all of my stuff here, I need to find my presser foot workbook. It's in this office somewhere that I brought it down earlier. The Janome presser foot workbook is another great resource to find out more about the edge guide foot as well. So double check with your Janome dealer. So lots of information out there. So if that is good, then I will see you all. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Oh, yes, Sandra, for sure. Make sure that you follow the Janome Life blog. Again, every Monday morning, then there's the email about what's coming up. So I know Celine is tomorrow. I don't remember exactly what she is going to be. Oh, I think for Canada Day project. I think that's what she's going to share tomorrow. So yeah, so make sure to check out Janome Canada's Instagram at 1 p.m. and then I will see you back here Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern at Janome HQ. So have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.